Greetings and salutations, friends! I am back! As is indicated by 1, you seeing me, and 2, me wearing a shirt not necessarily designed for the Norwegian climate. God, I hate vacations. But I will admit, coming from, plus 20 degrees heat to -2 and fog was a bit of a Debbie Downer. Fortunately, we've got quite the pick-me-up waiting, as a trailer from the cancelled Powerpuff Girl show has leaked, and oh boy. Let me tell you, we have been robbed of a truly amazing show. Well, by we, I mean YouTubers, as this would have done the rounds of every single channel you could possibly imagine as it looks. Oh boy. It looks like it would have made She-Hulk look positively Oscar-worthy. Anyways, enough preamble. Let's have a look at how the Powerpuff Girls were supposed to be violated and dragged through the streets. That's pretty much, unironically, that's kind of the problem, isn't it? You wouldn't think the Powerpuff Girls would be a particularly good thing to bring into live action, seeing as one of the main thrusts of the Powerpuff Girls is literally hyper-violence with little girls. Not a concept that I would think would have translated very well to live action, but oh well. They race-swapped the professor, didn't they? Of course they did. Well, why? Naturally. This was designed in the most current of current years, after all.
Once upon a time, Professor...
Is that the dude from Scrubs? Did they race-swap the professor into that dude from Scrubs? I mean, hey, at least they're keeping on with the doctor thing, but... did you just... Hold on. Sit here, men, boy, cat, but my go-fi very trinksix zoo. If I remember correctly, the recipe was sugar, spice, and everything nice, but no. So did he just make them? Because that's not actually, that's, okay. Allow me to butt in with Powerpuff lore objections here right away, but the professor didn't make the Powerpuff Girls on purpose. He made them on accident. He was intended to simply make 3 normal girls in his basement, which he could then presumably confine for an extended period of time, considering the location and the somewhat suspiciously armored nature of aforementioned basement. But he gave them powers, I guess so, by accident by smashing a vial of compound X and pouring it into the mix. So him simply making them kind of ruins the point there already. Especially as I guarantee you this is going to go down the route of I regret having my powers thing.
Once upon a time, Professor Drake Utonium created a family of his own.
Powerpuff Girls.
3 pint-sized heroes protecting Townsville from evil.
Actual Satan. That's true. They do actually fight literal Satan in the show. Incidentally, Satan in the show was trans, which is why presumably his only appearance here is a rather small one and off to the side, rather than a mainline front and center presentation. But again, so this introduces a whole host of problems, doesn't it? If he creates them by accident, then that's what it is. It's an accident. Now you've got this dude who has just weaponized 3 little girls as his own little private army, and he's releasing them upon the world to wreak untold havoc.
As their fame grew, so did the merch.
Oh, hey, look, an infinitely superior product.
Endorsements, even a cartoon.
Are those the Powerpuff Girls? They're all so cool.
Line delivery. Don't bully the child actors, but Jesus. Also, Mojo Jojo, they split the bad monkey into 2 people. Also, I can't help but notice that the monkey isn't black. Why didn't you race swap the monkey, huh? Huh, CW? Why don't we have a live-action Tarzan yet, huh?
Especially Blossom.
Especially Blossom. Sugar... Oh, okay. Sugar, Spice, never... And Sugar, Spice, and he did it thrice. Alright.
Not everyone was a fan.
We've had enough Powerpuff.
As the years passed, there was trouble.
Okay, so this is actually one of the better plot lines in the Powerpuff Girls, where Mojo Jojo, and this is quite relevant to the current day events as well, basically turned public perception against the Powerpuff Girls by playing the victim. He played the innocent, helpless monkey being bullied by the superpowered heroines, and this turned the entirety of society against the Powerpuff Girls, allowing Mojo Jojo to do whatever the hell he wanted because he was manipulating public perception. That was a warning, incidentally, that we did not take anywhere near seriously enough. Much to our cost. But it was a really cool plotline, which, if they're gonna delve into that here, could actually have been interesting. Although I imagine that would be a plot a bit too complicated for the average show created today.
In Powerpuff Paradise.
Why is Bubbles sleeping on the floor? Why is Bubbles sleeping on the floor? I mean, it's a bit weird for three, obviously, like, girls in their 20s, I think, to be sleeping together in the same bed, but why is Bubbles on the floor? Can she not be trusted to behave herself in the bed?
Blossom was constantly stressed.
Wait, is it daylight savings?
Buttercup was constantly rebellious.
I'm not wearing that dress anymore. It's gender normative and ass ugly.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is the exact opposite of rebellious. That is the A4 standard issue answer on standardized test given to you by every major academic institution in the Western world. Gender norms bad, patriarchy bad. Is not a rebellion, it is literally the governmental position.
And Bubbles was constantly drinking.
Excuse me?
Daylight savings?
Buttercup was constantly rebellious.
I'm not wearing that dress anymore. It's gender normative and ass ugly.
And Bubbles was constantly drinking.
Yeah, I thought I heard that correctly. Isn't she still a... How old is she? I mean, they look 20, but they're still living in their professor's room in the same bed. Should she be drinking? Is that legal? Where's the professor in all of this then? What is their father going like, hey, dad, one of your daughters is constantly drunk. Should you do something about that? Ah. Huh.
Go get him! And on one fateful day, the girls made a fatal error, costing Mojo his life.
Okay, so they're kind of doing that, but is that why they split Mojo Jojo into two, so that his son can enact revenge for his father upon the Powerpuff Girls? Yeah, that too could actually be kind of decent, but... So yet again, the professor is there. They showed him there, like, go get him, girls! And he doesn't care that one of his daughters is turning into a drunken slut. Rightio then. Dad! We're enforcing some rather negative stereotypes about black parents.
In the wake of disaster, Blossom ran away. Jojo grew up to be mayor of Townsville.
Okay. So he didn't take his revenge on the Powerpuff Girls? Or has he been plotting for the last 10 years?
Buttercup became a real hero.
I have objections to this. Okay, so, real hero, obviously they're referring to, civil servant, police, firefighters being the real heroes. Okay, understandable. But this is largely because in our world, people don't have superpowers, right? People don't have superpowers. She has superpowers. She doesn't need that protective gear. She doesn't need that helmet. She doesn't need an oxygen tank. She doesn't need to go in with all of the other guys to rescue this kid. She could simply just go and out again. In less than a second. She could tear the roof of the house off to look for survivors. She could freeze the entirety of it with her ice breath or whatever. She has superpowers. If anything, this is taking the piss out of the actual firefighters. She is wearing their uniform, not because she needs to, but as a form of mockery to them. And if she's suppressing her powers to be a normal girl and fighting fires that way, that's even worse, because now she's allowing people to potentially fucking die because she wants to be a normal person. I have many objections to this.
And Bubbles? Well, she made it all the way to Hollywood Boulevard.
You know, the slut part was halfway in jest. I didn't... Is that a price list? Bubbles wig? Bubbles dressed? Bubbles massage? They turned Bubbles into an actual unironic whore on the side of Hollywood Boulevard. I didn't expect that. That was beyond my expectations. And she's wearing googly eyes and a wig as she offers, but I swear to God, it's $25 massages. Once again, I would like to ask the question, where is her father? Where is the professor in this? Well, she's not technically my biological daughter, so who cares if she gets railroaded by half of Hollywood? And considering recent revelations of the nature of parties in Hollywood, this gets even worse. Again, I would also like to raise the question, how old is she? Well, she's driving, so at least she's legal, I hope. I don't think that makes it necessarily all that much better. So, Buttercup gets to be a firefighter, Blossoms gets to be a cool wandering Ronin hero, and Bubbles gets to be a whore. Okay, right. I've finished processing this. Moving on.
Hi, I'm Bubbles. Everybody wants to talk to fake Jesus. Hi.
Well, oops, baby.
The Powerpuff Girls are coming to town tomorrow.
All three?
Are the Powerpuff Girls reteaming?
Hell no, I am never caping for Townsville again.
Hi.
The 3B's back in Townsville. I didn't know.
Oh, thank God. Okay, they're 25. Okay. Well, that's better. I would still argue that professional prostitute is not an aspirational job position, but at least if they're 25.
I bring this up yet, but I have reason to believe a darkness may be returning.
Wait, are you throwing a balloon party for your 3 25-year-old daughters that you haven't presumably bothered keeping in contact with for 7 years? I feel as this entire intermingling of Bubbles being a whore and the childish style is, exactly what you don't want to see coming out of Hollywood. Exactly every dark rumor ever about Hollywood. Was this cancelled because it was a meta-commentary on just how many children the average Hollywood producer was molesting?
Like monsters?
What do you want me to do, Jojo?
I want them to know how it feels to watch their father die.
You obviously want us to reunite, Dad.
Why are you acting like being back together's torture?
Yeah, it was fun when we were just fighting baddies, but it changed.
Why though? Why did it change? Were there not enough monsters around? What changed? Did the monsters disappear? I presume?
Not to mention that cartoon that completely whitewashed us.
You said
Again, not rebellious, completely standard. Also, you're not white? I swear to God, I'm losing the ability to even tell anymore.
you created us because you wanted to be a dad. Then why not just make 3 normal little girls?
That would have been weird.
Would it? Would it? Is that the rationale we're going with? Well, admittedly, yes, making 3 girls in your basement is weird, but giving them superpowers is surely weirder. Also, Bubbles' entire slut persona is really throwing me for a loop here.
The goal of this new plan is to crawl into people's brains and then turn their aggrometer up to 10.
The riot started moments ago, the cause of which are...
The blacks are rioting. I see why this wasn't released now.
still unknown.
Destroy Townsville! All must pay!
Someone's setting him up.
I was going with that for a joke, but I guess I wasn't.
This is the work of Professor Drake Utonium.
She-Hulk? Huh. An unexpected cameo, yet a welcome one.
Oh my god, they're all possessed. This is exactly like the gathering of the Juggalos.
You've been.
Oh yeah, I'm down with the clown.
Okay.
I have complete control over him.
I'm not a Powerpuff Girl anymore.
You're just a boring grown-up.
You're just a boring grown-up. Wearing Pride merchandise.
Hang it up and start a book club.
This is our chance to prove to everybody they were wrong about us.
Yep, I'm good.
Ah, yes. Your father is burning down the town. We're having a bit of a problem with your father burning down the town. You're going to have to stop your dad from burning down the town. Backhand. Well, it is our solution, isn't it?
Oh no! Oh my god!
That was surprisingly cathartic.
Beating your father is cathartic. Yet again, we're not doing black fathers any favors in this.
In a sweeping reversal of fate, the Powerpuff Girls are beloved again in Townsville.
You're my daughters first, and your happiness is all that matters.
Then why didn't you make them as regular girls? Dumbass.
I'm really sorry for accusing your dad of mass terrorism.
Yeah.
Is she flirting?
I guess we're even.
And then we get the Mojo Jojo Powerpuff Girls love arc. I don't know why. I don't think we needed that, but we're getting it. Or, well, luckily we're not, but for some reason the authors decided that was a good thing to add in.
I mean, we are not even, I mean, just like, he was never obsessed with me.
Yes, he was.
No, he wasn't.
And I bet he still is. But in like an angry, kinky hate boner kind of way.
That's the best kind of owner.
Yet again, the decision to turn Bubbles into an actual unironic whore is one that baffles me somewhat. But again, if we read this as a meta-commentary on how many little girls Hollywood has abused over the years, it does make a lot of sense. Coming soon. Not really, no. I don't know. I think you guys probably dodged a bullet on this, but for me, this was clearly going to be a pretty goddamn great show for everyone making YouTube videos. Okay, so they clearly made her an Asian girl here, by the way, and they made her a white girl here for some strange reason. Then you've got Buttercup being, well, just standard A4, oh yes, patriarchy bad, and Bubbles as an actual unironic street-side prostitute selling herself with googly eyes and a yellow wig. This would have been absolutely panned by critics, audiences, and YouTubers. All the perfect triumvirate would have come down upon this like a 10-ton hammer, so cancelling this show was absolutely the correct decision, particularly also considering the rather creepy nature of their father here. But I wish they hadn't, because we were clearly robbed of a tremendous amount of entertainment. Tragic. Oh well, if we're lucky, another show just like it will be greenlit very soon. We can but hope and pray. Until next time, I've been Arch. Thank you all very much for listening, and I do hope to see you all again soon. Till then, have a good day.